what you're talking about is not applicable to me at all. Well, I disagree, and I'll show you. I'm shorter, so this is kind of like a skirt for me, and it's all accessible right where I'm standing. I think that's the key, to have it right near you. I think this will apply to a lot of you out there. And welcome back, Fire Addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Fire. And today we're talking about 5 additions that you need on your wood splitter. So I think that each of us who has a firewood splitter has made modifications. And I'm not talking about muffler mods or getting the engine ported. I don't think it's even possible on one of these engines. But what I'm talking about is making your work safer, but probably more so, more efficient and more effective together, to make sure that your process is as best as it can be when you're processing firewood. Now, I have some ideas here, and I'll share them with you. Some of them you may not agree with. Some of them, I'm like, you're right on, Travis. But take the good with the bad. Take the good ideas, run with it, and discard what you don't like. I think this will apply to a lot of you out there. Let's get into it. The first thing is what I want to do is I don't know if you see this or not, but on the pole here, I took a measuring tape and a Sharpie, and I measured at 14 inches, 15, 16, 17, okay? Now, this obviously may wear off. I may redo it. What I should do is take some clear spray paint and spray it to kind of seal it so it would protect a little bit longer. But anyway, my point in doing this is, if I have a round that fried tree surface wood, and maybe I didn't cut it or buck it up myself, I can put up this and know 14, well, that's a shorty, that's going in the shorty pile. 15, well, that's still a shorty, technically under 16, but I'm going to count that as a 16er, and that will go in the good pile for the firewood stand. 16 is on the money. 17, a little bit too long, but still will go into my 16 pile to sell the firewood stand, and anything above 17, that's bonfire wood. So I think a way to measure, I think, is good. If you don't have a tape measure on you or don't want one on you, I think this is good for any type of splitter. So let's move on to the next one. So right here, so this is at the table of the 1165V, the table, and I stand right here, right? The knee is right here. And to my right, what I did is I went on Amazon and I found these tape measure clips. Take this tape measure, slides right in there. Tape measure. Sometimes it's good. So if you don't have a place to measure on that pole over there, so for your wood, sometimes you just want to check: is this piece at 16? Is it a little longer? Is it shorter? Are you making mini splits? Is the piece going to be at 5 inches or 4 inches? Whatever you need. I think it's good sometimes to have a tape measure on hand. And maybe you don't want it on your person. Maybe it's too bulky, too clanky, it's in the way, too janky, whatever. I think having this on your splitter and it's secure, not going to go anywhere, I think is money well spent. And what I did is I took some self-tapping screws and I just went into the metal, and then it's secure, not going to move anywhere. Now, when you do this, when you do use a self-tapping screw, make sure that you're not going to go into the hydraulic tank. You don't want to mess with that. Make sure that you're going in metal that you can puncture through it. This is the table. There's nothing behind it. We're all good to go, but make sure that you check that out. But so, the tape measure is a good accessory, and I'll show it to you a little later, but rock and roll, tape measure. All right, so another one, I think a lot of you use a pickaroon when you're splitting. Now, this may not make sense with the 1165V, but I'll show you an example. I'll do a demonstration in a second. But here's what I come up with. I'm standing here, and I need access to my pickaroon. Now, I can lean it up against the table. Well, that's too short. I can lean it up against this tire. Well, the vibrations may fall down. So I want it accessible. I want to make sure that it's secure. What I did was this. Bam, done. Right there. So I stand here, head the pickaroon, take it up, I use it, I put it back where it goes. Done. Let me show you. So I went to the local hardware store and then I'm buying more from Harbor Freight. But I bought these magnets. Now you can find these anywhere. And there's flat magnets. There's the magnetized side and the side that you put to whatever surface. And what I did was I took another self-tapping screw and I drilled in a smaller one right here, right? So that fits on there, and that will stick to the pickaroon, and the handle just rests on the tire, but it has something else to help with that. So that's it's enough to hold it. It's not very strong. It's not gonna fight me when I take it off, but it's just there, and I think it's gonna work with the machine on. Honestly speaking, I have not tried it out yet. I don't have any rounds in my wood yard at the moment, but I will demo with you all this later on. But what I want to show you is just putting it on the splitter so it's accessible and secure where it won't, in theory, rattle off, fall off, shake off. Now, again, I made sure that the screw was not going to be in the hydraulic oil reservoir. This is not. This is just support structure, so I'm good there. So, pickaroon accessible, dig it. So another accessory, something that I find to be helpful, is a hatchet. Sometimes, especially when you're splitting elm, for those of you who split elm, is having a hatchet or something to cut the strings with, I think is needed. A lot of times you split wood, but there's a few strands that are just in the way. Yes, you could go through one more cycle time with your splitter and cut them, but the wedge doesn't warrant those few little strands that in theory you can't or you don't want to pull apart with your own brute strength, right? So having a hatchet real quick, click, 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 bang, 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 you cut it, and you have two pieces. So I put another magnet right here, so when I stand up, it's right here, good to go. Now this kind of falls down a little bit. So what I did was I went to Harbor Freight. Now Harbor Freight is one of those stores that's known for their knockoffs, Snap-on or whatever toolboxes, right? Well, on there they have several accessories that are magnetized. One is a hook. So I put the hook right here, okay, and I kind of cockeye it, and I put the hatchet on the magnet, and the handle kind of rests there at the hook. At the same time, I can have the pickaroon rest on top of the hook's little nut there, and not on the tire in case it wants to fall down like it did there. So again, with the pickaroon, put it on the magnet there, and the handle will rest right there. So then I stand up. I'm right here standing. I have access to the tape measure. Done. The pickaroon, like this. I use it. Done. I'm there. I split. Hatchet. I use it. Done. Put it back. And it's all accessible right where I'm standing. I think that's the key, to have it right near you, right by you, rock and roll. So that is, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I got one more for you. So this idea is not originally mine, so I can't claim it as such. Okay, just a basic apron. Now you've seen this popularized by such channels as Sam's Doing Stuff. And I do like that channel. What do you think about this? Apron. I need to maybe tighten this a little bit higher maybe. But I like it because we're not cooking, even though I do cook. I do sometimes cook. I can cook in the kitchen in my house. I can cook. But this is not for cooking. This is actually a welding apron. I got Harbor Freight. Few bucks, not expensive. If you get an apron, I'm thinking a thin leather like this is, or some sort of like a denim material. Because one of the points is, the apron is not to protect your clothes per se. It's to, because these shirts that I wear and other people wear, I mean, if during summertime, I'm not going to wear 9 layers, right? I'm going to wear one t-shirt, if that, right? So you want a barrier if you're going to be holding on or having to pick up a big round. That barrier between the bark and you, or the sap and you, or just that friction between you and the wood by way of the apron, I think is a great idea. So good on you, Sam, and the other people out there who do wear a protective barrier and or apron. I think is a great idea. As well as, if you don't want the tape on here and you're used to, as a carpenter or whatever, used to have it be on your person, it clips right here perfectly and it stays. I like having it right here. And this pocket right here is good for, I don't know, pencils, your sunflower seeds. There's other pockets here down below. Granted, this is made for like a normal size height person. I'm shorter, so this is kind of like like a skirt for me. I don't know if you see that or not, but it's definitely to my legs. But it's nice having able to have that barrier. I've used it before, obviously. It's dirty, and I do like it. So those are 5 things that I have used and have done. And I'll demo for you this right now of how it all works. But this is 5 things that I have used to in addition to and modified my splitter to be more efficient. So let me turn this bad boy and I'll show you how and why I utilize each one of these tools. So I hope that all makes sense of those utilizing those additions, accessories, tools to be more efficient. Now, maybe I was a little ranting in terms of I'm using the hatchet for this, but I know many of you out there who do split, get those stringies and you can't get 2 pieces apart. Having that hatchet right there next to you, that's so handy. And what I was trying to demonstrate earlier with the pickaroon is when the log lip is down, it's all full of rounds and chunks. Sometimes when you go up, the wood wants to go and tip over like this. So even a little bit pressure with the pickaroon, you nail on the wood and you hold on to it, and this is long enough where I can reach over and click up the knob for the log to go up, and that will keep the wood balanced and leading this direction, so the wood will stay on there. And I think that that's needed for a lot of us who do have log lift. Now, I think a lot of you are saying to yourself right now, Travis, I don't have $1,000 plus $4,000, $10,000 wood splitter, pro grade commercial. I don't have one of those things. What you're talking about is not applicable to me at all. Well, I disagree, and I'll show you. So you all know the champion. The champion it's a champion. Here's my process. I think more so an apron in this instant with no log lift is imperative. You're going to be lifting the logs upon you on the table and splitting, and or you need a pickaroon or some sort of like hook. You're going to hook it in the log, pick it up right. Pickaroon, where do you put it? I'll show you right now. Now, I've done this for a while now, and you don't need to modify the splitter at all. It goes right here. You stand right here, and to your right, it's going to be resting on the ground, propped up. The tip on the ground, see that okay? Down the ground, on the ground, and it's resting up between the oil filter and the tire on the hydraulic tank. Okay, just got hanging out. There's no modification to do there. Again, don't tap it in this right here. This is the tank. This is oil. This is all pressurized. Don't tap into there with the self-tapping screw. It's just hanging out. So when you hear splitting, you're sitting right here. You grab it, turn around and get your wood. You tap the wood. You put it on the table and put it down. There it is. So that's number 2. Number 3, hatchet. I think it's imperative. Now, I tried to put this pickaroon, another pickaroon, on this magnet, and it stuck. but just the weight of the handle being so far out this way that it just falls down. So, but I think having me propped up right here, I think works great. But the hatchet, I think, is fine too. This is right here. Now, if it wants to kind of like as this vibrates, it may want to like shake down like this. I think having that hook right here too, I think will help have it be secure. So again, you're standing here splitting, and you have wood that needs to be cut real quick, little strands, whatever. Take your hatchet, chop-a-roo. You put it back, and you go to work. It's all right there. Like what I did on the slip fire, I could take my tape measure like this, and I could mark at 14, 16, whatever else, and then spray it. But I think you're going to get more wear and tear on this here where it may not make sense. So I think marking on the table here may not work. Maybe like on this part, but still, I use this as a shelf or like a log table. It may not work there. Who knows? But I do feel like having a tape measure handy and necessary. Now on the apron, again, I like to put it right here so it's on me. Now, you may not agree with the apron. Maybe you don't like the fashion. Maybe you don't think it's necessary. You like having to get scratched up when you hold on to rounds. Is what it is. Either you have a tape measure holder on your belt right here, or I like to put it in my pocket, like around the edge like this. That seems to work well, but just kind of shake around, jangly. But here on the apron, I think is good. So even if you have a big box splitter, these additions and accessories work well. So no excuses. If you like these ideas, implement them. Do it. Another thing I'll mention was at Harbor Freight, on those same toolbox they had magnetized cup holders and like little tray, like little box tray thing. Now you could put that, at least on this splitter, you can put that maybe like right here, or maybe over here on this table here, but then you have to have it jangling off. So I think the cup holder is a good idea to make sure that you're hydrated, but where to put your mug or your cup, maybe like right here, I think would be good. Anything up here is going to be moving, at least on this splitter. So I think the cup holder, maybe like down here, maybe, I don't know. But I think that tray would be good for pencils, tape measures too, markers, anything small, like a scrunch, in the tray, and then you can take it off if need be. So there's no drilling, there's no adhering, it's just magnetized. So in theory, you can take it off and use it someplace else, or you go to bar, you go to travel, it's there, or you don't like it, take it off. But I think the cup holder may be something too on certain splitters that also would be a good idea, as well as the tray. I'll leave a link to Harbor Freight and or to Amazon if you find one, but I think those are good accessories too. I just didn't put them on because I didn't think it was that necessary. But yeah, so I hope that all makes sense. Maybe it was helpful. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts. Maybe share with me any additions that you've done to your splitters to make sure that you are as fast efficient as possible on your own splitter. Maybe I missed something. Maybe these are not good ideas. You let me know down in the comments. Anyway, so that's it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Remember, life is short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. Rock and roll. Stay safe, keep cutting. Cheers. Word of advice on Harbor Freight, you're gonna have to redo the strap because the straps are garbage. The sewing job is garbage. You're gonna have to redo that. Currently, honestly speaking, right now I'm using a safety pin to safety pin the strap on the waistband to itself. So yeah, I tried to get them for free in the Buy Nothing group, and I tried looking at like the Goodwill or Value Village. I couldn't really find one. So don't wear nice clothes when you're splitting or working with firewood. You're gonna get sap on, or you're gonna get them dirty and stained. I have ruined several pairs of shorts, pants, and t-shirts because I'm like, oh, I'll just split for a minute. No problem. No. Change into work clothes, folks. Change into work clothes because you're gonna get them stained. You're gonna get them dirty. I digress. I'm not talking about like hydration to stay hydrated. Not hydration because you're working. No. Cold drink, cold beverage, but non-alcoholic.